that's an easy point to sort of cheat, I think, in a bad way, where you go, well, let's hedge my concept a little because I found some good reference material that doesn't quite look like what I wanted. Let's scrap the concept and just get the illustration done. You know, I think that having the tenacity to say, I've really got to make sure that I execute on this concept, because sometimes it's the thought behind the art that really makes it spectacular. I mean, Norman Rockwell was an amazing painter, but by no means the greatest painter you've ever seen. But if you look at Norman Rockwell's paintings, what makes them amazing is he's got this storyline going. He's got these personalities and these characters. You can see a whole arc of what's been happening, what's going to happen, and that's what really makes his art special. I think that is a big differentiator in my mind. Not just how well can you draw, but what is the story you're telling within that illustration.
Billy, you want to talk about your Frankenstein technique?
Sure. So, you know, over time, as I, you know, was drawing and I was trying to sell my illustration professionally, you know, my drawing is very labor intensive. It would take me like 3 days basically to do a drawing. And as I built a company and had to like pay for medical insurance and pay for electricity and pay for rent and have a staff, you know, our rates slowly increased to the point where for me to charge our going rates for my time drawing, multiply times 3 days of my work, was a huge sum of cash, and clients were just like, not even going to do it, forget about it, we cannot do that. So I'm sure that I just had seen someone else doing this, but you know, if I had like an overall illustration for what I wanted to do, I would actually go and find a bunch of photographs and actually just crop out sections of photographs that I wanted, and then I would just assemble an actual, you know, an illustration, a layout for something that I wanted to draw, and I would have all those elements just sort of there as a photograph, and then that would itself be my reference material. So I could see how those different pieces sort of play with each other. It would allow me to quickly scale things and move them around versus trying to, like, you know, sketch each piece and put it into place. I could just do that. And again, that was not, you know, that is not, say, a direct illustration straight from my head, but, you know, again, you know, you can try and separate, you know, what you're doing from a business, but at the end of the day, if you're not making any money, you can't pay your rent, then you're going to end up working at Taco Bell, and then you've got no illustration career. So you need to find that balance. You need to talk to your customers and find out what they're after. And if they're okay with you, hey, using a bunch of photography and working on photography, or sometimes what we'll sell at GoMedia is, you know, I will do a centerpiece for the illustration, but then we're going to use stock vector art to fill in around my centerpiece that I'm illustrating. And in that way, I'm going to be able to give you a lot more coverage and a lot more detail, and only charge you for sort of like the focal point of the illustration. So Frankenstein